Hi there, you guys. This is PTB Rules, aka the King of Doomhammers. And I've been talking to some of my viewers, and they'd like me to go ahead and do a detailed budget video, especially with 1.0.8 dropping. And I think I'm going to oblige. I'd like to thank Physics and RockBear7, my viewers that have donated this gold towards the set. It's going to be a 100 mil set, including gems. And we're going to be giving this set away next Saturday at 4 p.m. Central. So if you guys are interested in seeing how it comes together and the best route for that, just stay tuned and check it out. So first thing we're going to start with is obviously pricing items and purchasing them. When I build sets, the first thing I like to do is price gems. Now we only have 100 mil, and with where gem prices have been going, it's going to limit our options there, but we'll go ahead and take a look. Probably going to have to stick with Star Topaz. It's a good budget option. We're going to shoot for 5 as of now. Figure 3 in the chest, 2 in the pants. So we're looking at right around a mil a piece. So we're going to allocate 5 mil for Topaz. For the helm slot, I prefer the Amethyst. Obviously, you could run the Ruby, but for EHP reasons, I'd rather go with the Amethyst. I think staying alive in certain situations is more important than that initial experience boost that Ruby gives you. So, alright, we're going to allocate 1 mil for the Amethyst. And gem choice for the weapon, you can either go Ruby or Emerald. The main difference is going to be consistency and damage. I prefer Ruby if you're below 50% crit chance, and basically my reasoning behind that is you're going to be dealing white damage more than crit damage, so it's going to be more consistent damage on the majority of the damage you're dealing. So it's all about a smooth flow. Yes, you will get more sheet DPS with a two-hander with an Emerald, but then you rely more heavily on those crits to make up for that lack of damage in the white areas. So I actually prefer the Ruby. A lot of my viewers prefer the same. Let's price some out here and see. I know Ruby has gone through the roof for price lately, so probably only going to be locked into a Flawless Star. Alright, we're looking at 4 mil for that. Let's look at Perfect Star. Alright, we're jumping all the way up to 12 mil for Perfect Star. And let's check out an Emerald. I don't know if I want to allocate that much of my budget towards that. Let's check out a Flawless Star Emerald. We might actually go with the Emerald in this setup, just based on our budget. Plus, some of the lower tier rubies can be not as good as the Emerald. Usually when I compare Emerald to Ruby, it's the Marquise level. And I think the Marquise Ruby is actually better at that tier. Yeah, I think we're going to go with the Emerald here. Alright, so we'll allocate 3 mil for the Emerald. So it looks like we're at 9 mil in gems. Now the first thing I like to do is price out a weapon. And I'll show you guys how I do it. I basically come into the equipment tab, go to two-hand, keep it at all two-hand types, select average damage, crit hit damage, intelligence, has sockets, and lifesteal. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to set our budget to 20 mil on this. And we're going to search. And we're going to sort by average damage. Now the first thing that jumps out at me is this weapon here. If you compare the actual average damage on this weapon to the next up, the Scorn here, you're looking at 1183 minimum to 1653 max versus 1039 minimum to 1551 max. So honestly, looking at the average damage, I think the Doomhammer is going to be a better choice. The other thing to consider though is the fact that there's more intelligence here, and there's more than likely going to be a better crit damage roll. Not to mention the scorn is black damage, and this is poison, so that the Zuni Trail and the SOJ we're going to be using aren't going to scale as well with the elemental damage bonus. So probably still going to stick with the scorn. Unfortunately, the scorn prices have been going up considerably, so it's not really something we can get a lot of bang for our buck as much as I used to be in my other videos that I've done. We're going to search some higher crit damage rolls here. I'd really like to stay within that 20 mil range for this. And of course I will be doing my signature MP10 run with this set when we're finished. I can tell you right now it's not going to be MP10 like efficient, but I basically just have to bring the hurt on myself. That's just how I roll. This one's already got the emerald in it. I like it when people do that. Lifesteal's a little low, but from my experience, I don't think it makes too much of a difference. I remember when all these, like, I could get like a 1350 for this price. Back in my day. Tall 66, 150. Yeah, my voice cracked like crazy there. Not gonna lie, dude. Oh, I'll get over it. All right, let's see here. I think we're gonna go with this one. It's 12 mil. No. This one's also 12 mil. Yeah, I think we'll settle for this scorn. I think this is going to be our best buy right now. For our budget, 12 mil. It's 8 mil below what I expected to spend on it, so... And hopefully it'll spit all my items out and I don't have to sit here raging about it. There was a poison damage hammer, but I didn't want to buy it because it had lower int and the average damage was a little bit, like, it was a little higher, but it wasn't going to scale as well with the Zuni Trail. Alright, let's, so we got our scorn. I think we did pretty good for 12 mil. Let me bust the calculator out here. And we got, let's see, we have 9 mil allocated for gems, so we have 21 mil total right now, so our remaining budget is 79 mil. Let's get this in my notepad here. So 79 mil left. I'm going to look at some more slots that are usually more expensive. With the current shifts, the helmet is a expensive slot. The amulet, the Zuni's Pox will be expensive as well. I'm really hoping to find some decent items, but we're going to have to find out in due time. Let's count slots here and see what we got. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have our weapon. So 79 divided by 11. We have about 7 million to spend per slot at this point. Some slots won't need that much, some slots will need more. But let's go ahead and look at the helm slot. Let's type in Zuni Masa's Vision. It's pretty much the only helmet that I think is viable for this setup, and a lot of different Witch Doctor setups. Obviously, I think that you should value crit chance or higher intelligence over crit chance. I'd still like to see a minimum amount on the slot, but these prices have really gone up. So let's go maybe to like a 240. See what happens here. Okay, the price drops down quite a bit. Like, I think this is going to be our auto buy here. It's 7 mil. That's our per piece budget. It's got a really nice fight roll and percent life roll, and a really decent intelligence roll as well. So I think we're going to go ahead and buy this one up. Alright, so we got our helmet. $72 mil remains in the budget. Next slot we're going to look at, I think it's going to be the Pox. I really like to get an entry-level crit Pox for this. I really like to see that you can get crit chance on every available slot where it's possible. So let's see what the minimum price on this is going to be. Alright, it's looking like 9 mil is our baseline. Let's actually try taking the crit off. Let's try searching int socket. So we might actually be able to get a lot more effective damage on this slot without that crit. Yeah, I don't really think that these are going to be good options. Let's lose the average damage. Let's go up to 150 once. See if we can go to 170. These are all bid only. Intelligence is very valuable with this setup because that two-handed black damage weapon, the int is gonna give you more damage per point because of that high base damage. So if we go this route, I actually might be interested in going with Ruby over the Emerald. We also really want that set bonus, the Zuni set bonus, so that's why it's kind of important. Just trying to think if that... Let's see the price break here. Got a little extra armor on that, cold resist. It's only 3 million. The other reason that intelligence is really important in my mind is that when with my personal setup, I run the Gruesome Feast passive, and that's going to give you 10% intelligence bonus per globe you pick up to a max of 5 stacks. So the more intelligence you have, the higher that damage is going to scale. Yeah, I think we're going to try it this route. We're going to try a higher int stack. We're going to kind of stray away from the crit chance on this slot to get more effective damage for our money, especially with the shift in the market. So yeah, we're going to go with this option. 3 mil, I think, on this slot is a lot cheaper than what most people would pay, and I still think our effective damage should not be affected by it. So after purchasing that item, it's going to put our budget to 69 mil remaining. The other money slot is the amulet. I'm also going to look at some pants because I know these have been going up as well. For the amulet, I'd ideally like to search for, obviously, crit chance. Crit damage is a good thing on this slot. Intelligence, and I usually like to go with vitality for that EHP. You can also search for armor, all res. It's really up to you. We're going to start it out at 250 int. We're going to go 7 crit chance. Take a look at the first one here. Let's try going to 230 intelligence. Not really that bad. This one actually looks pretty good. It's got some extra strength, so that's extra armor. It's got a nice fight roll. Some arcane resist. Let's take a look at the lore section here. I still think this one is better. Let's keep going down here. Yeah, I honestly think this one is going to be the one we're going to go with here. It's got armor, good Vite roll, decent int roll, and it's got crit damage, crit chance on it. For 10 mil, I think that's going to be a perfect fit for our budget. Let's try something else. Let's try, instead of Vite, let's try armor. See, and we come into that price area, which we really can't afford. Let's try all res. Yeah, and that jacks the price up even more. So I think we're going to go with the one there with that strength roll. It's essentially armor. So 10 mil on this. Seems like a good fit for our budget. So we have 59 million remaining. Let's take a look at our pant slot. Now in this slot, a lot of people would be going, "Oh, let's go in this temperance." Really can't stress enough. I really do not like that item on this class for higher MPs. You lose a lot of EHP. You're bringing more attack speed into the equation, so you're not maximizing your damage dealt per mana spent ratio. Essentially, you're just getting inflated sheet DPS, and you're really holding back that sustain cast that really helps you stay alive for the long durations of time. So we're going to look at some rare pants. And when I search for those, obviously I go int, Vite. First thing we're going to do is all-res armor. It's probably going to be way out of our budget with where the price has gone, but maybe we can get lucky. 2 sockets. The int roll, I like to go 150. And I'd like to search for a 200 min Vite roll. And as you can see, the prices on these have kind of just gone out of control. So to get within our budget more, I think what we're going to do is we're going to just zero out the intelligence for now. We're going to scrap the armor. We're going to stay with this and see what I can come up with. So you see the prices start coming down. We're going to go to 130 int roll. And you can see this is right in the range where I think we could be. It's got magic find on it. Comparatively, I think this is probably the best pair right here. We can also try going to 190 int and see what that brings. $222. I really think this pair for 10 mil is going to take it. Yeah, and I really like a lot of people ask me why I don't go with Blackthorns. I mean, that is an option. I really like having the all-res on this slot and the armor whenever possible. With my slot setups, my all-res, I usually focus on my shoulders, my chest, my bracers, my pox, my pants, and that's it. Like, it really depends on what slot you have all-res on. I guess we could look at Blackthorns just to compare and see what we have available. Just to kind of get a different perspective on it. Yeah, I mean, you're looking at... And I'm looking for a higher int roll, too. I really don't want to go with a lower int roll. It really depends on how much all-res coverage you have in other slots. So I'm still going to stick with the rare slot pants for this. Because I usually don't have a lot of all-res on other slots to make up for that. And it all depends how you gear it, but this is just my personal style. $54 to $63, but I trade 20 Vite for another 10 all-res roughly, so yeah, I think we're going to go with this pair right here. It's well within our budget for this. Alright. So we got a lot of the more expensive slots out of the way. And let's see, looks like we're at 49 mil remaining. We're scoring, so we have 5 slots down. 5 slots down, we need shoulders, chest, so the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 remaining. 49 divided by 7 is 7, so we have 7 mil per slot remaining on the other items. So let's look at a chest first. For a Zunimas's Marl, there's 2 different ways you can search this. This is one of the slots that I really like to get radius on. It really depends how much money you have. Ideally, you want to get a really nice fight roll, but I think to get a good EHP for lower value, you want to go with an armor pickup radius. Your fight roll will be lower, but depending on the armor roll, you're actually probably going to make up a considerable amount of EHP with that decent armor roll and probably pay a fraction of the cost, because not a lot of people are looking for these. It all depends. Now, I know the market has shifted. Obviously, that would be ideal, but 820 mil is crazy. So we come down and look. The armor roll is kind of weak on this one. Go to 170. Let's put in 300 armor. Yeah, these prices have all changed so much. 160, 40, 362. That's better. Let's go to 150. 140. I think we're going to go with this right here. I think this is going to be our best choice right now. Alright, let's continue to go down just to see, but it's not looking like there's too much else to choose from. So we got the radius on the slot, we got a really nice armor roll. Like I said, it'll make up some HP for that Vite loss there, and you're going to pay a fraction of the cost for it. So I think we're going to go for this for 10 mil. It's a little over, but like I said, I think we can go a little lower on some of the other slots. Alright, so we got a Marl for 10 mil. Alright. Let's take a look at our shoulder slot. The obvious spot here is going to be Vile Wards. I'd really prefer that you crafted eventually, depending on how much essence you have and how good your current pair of shoulders are. But for this, we're going to be looking at Vile Wards. And I found the best way to search for these price-wise, actually looking for percent life over vitality. We're just going to type in 250. Let's set percent life to 8. 240. 220. Alright, so we come down here and look. This pair pretty much fits our bill. 8% life, 230 int for about 5 mil. Yeah, I think this set right here, this piece right here is gonna take the cake. It's below our per piece budget, so we're gonna pick that up for 5 mil. Just snap by that. You can obviously search for a Vite roll as well, but a lot of people are going to overprice that particular stat. Okay, so we got Vile Ward for 5 mil. So we have 34 mil remaining. We still have the belt, the gloves, the bracers, so 3, 4, 5 slots. 34 divided by 5. So we have about 6.8 million per slot remaining. Alright, let's take a look at the bracers. For this slot, a lot of people, same thing with the Innas, people are going to say Lacuni Prowlers. I really want to stay away from those as well. Same reason for the Innas. Lower EHP. You get attack speed on the slot where it's going to be hurting your actual damage per mana spent. And you're missing out on a lot of intelligence and EHP stats. So I prefer strong arm bracers in this slot. It's a very nice fit, and it's a very affordable option. And obviously people have mentioned to me that it's not a 24% move speed build, and it's really not that important in higher MPs. 24% move speed is great for lower MPs because you have a lot of downtime between certain areas. Obviously, the patch has changed that, but it's more important to have that extra tankiness, that extra beef to be able to survive some of those situations in higher MPs. Whereas the move speed isn't as important in those situations. So More EHP on the bracers and the pants slot is going to help you survive and give you better results overall. So we're going to be looking at strong arm bracers here. Ideally, I usually set out about 230 intelligence, and I like to look for ones with a vite roll. They're usually pretty affordable. As you can see, the first one that pops up is about 6 mil. These may start going up depending on how popular this build becomes. But it's very reasonable. This pair right here is actually probably going to be the one I snag up. It's got a decent vite roll and a 9% life roll on it. So yeah, I think we're just going to snag this pair up. Just straight up. Alright, we're at 8 mil on the bracers. It looks like everything's coming to me so far. I usually have an issue when I'm doing set builds. The auction house will eat my items. So hopefully I don't have to spend time trying to get them off the auction house. But if I do, I really have no other choice. Alright, let's go to the glove slot here. We have 26 million remaining. Now for gloves, I like to obviously search intelligence, vitality, crit chance, and crit damage are pretty standard. We'll go with 8% crit damage. 250 in to start it. Yeah, it's usually going to bring results back like that. Alright, we're going to go down to 225. And as you can see, it starts dropping off. We'll probably find a pair pretty inexpensive. The crit damage isn't as important at this point, especially with our budget. So I'm really more focused on the intelligence and the crit chance. Than anything. I guess we could let's take that off and do 275. Yeah, that's not even worth that. So we're going to 225. We're going to bring the crit damage back. I guess we could even maybe look for more EHP. 70 all res. For a whopping 2.5 mil. I'd still rather see crit damage there, to be honest. Even if it is only a small amount. Let's see, 30. See if you go up to 30, it's going to go into the 20 mil area. Let's see, 75. Let's go to 200 int. 200 int. 75, 8. It's got magic find on it, big deal. It's got a little extra armor with the strength roll, so let's not factor that out. Those actually aren't that either. It's got almost 100 vite and max crit on it, but those are 8 mil. Those actually are pretty good as well. Yeah, I think we're gonna go with these. It's got max crit. It's got a little lower int than I'd like. I just have to think of the other slots I have remaining yet. I guess maybe that's not too different. Yeah, I guess maybe we'll go with this. I think that 3 million is going to make a difference on some of the other slots. So we're going to go with these. 5 mil there. Yeah, I apologize to you guys who are in chat right now. I'm doing a set build video for YouTube, so I can't really respond too much. So I don't think I'm ignoring you. Just trying to help some people out. Some of my viewers wanted me to do this, so here I am. Alright, so we got the gloves. So far we have left then the Witching Hour, which will be in the belt slot, the Stone of Jordan, and the Zunimasa's Trail, and I have 21 mil left, so we have a 7 mil budget for each of those items. Let's look at the Trail first. On this slot, now this is another slot I like to get the radius. It's very similar to the search tactics I like to use for the chess piece. I'd like to select armor, pick up radius. And then we're going to select intelligence. Obviously, we'll start at 190. It's going to be out of our budget. We'll still do it anyway, just see maybe if we can snag a deal. Because obviously the double Vite roll boots are going to be very, very expensive compared to the armor roll. But you can still get a decent amount of HP through armor. Let's put 200 armor in here. Let's just scrap the int roll. Like, those look pretty decent. These are all 8% as well. The int's a little low, but our budget obviously is a little low as well. It's 9 mil for a little extra Vite. I think we're going to go with this option. 9 mil. I should be able to make up that budget in the SOJ Witching Hour column. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get these for 9. Alright, so we got our boots, we got our radius on our both of our slots. For a two-hand setup, I really recommend having between 12 to 14 pickup radius. So we got that on our chest and our boots. And that's to maximize the Grave Injustice Gruesome Feast passive. So, alright, we got those. Remaining items are Witching Hour and the SOJ. Let's take a look at the Witching Hour slot. Now, with this, I prefer to have an intelligence roll and like vitality percent life on this slot. Obviously, try to get as much attack speed. Like, obviously, the 9% attack speed and the higher crit damage is probably going to be better for you. This is really your only attack speed slot as well. So, let's take a look at Witching Hour. A lot of times when I'm searching for upgrades for myself, I'll pop in intelligence, about 150. And the first thing, obviously, would be like vitality, 150 Vite. And obviously, the prices are going to be reflective on that value. So we'll scratch the Vite roll here and we'll take a look at what we have. You can see those Vite rolls are pretty low. And this is where I'd prefer a percent life roll over vitality. And we'll see what the price difference is. We'll go 8% life. I'm looking at 10 mil. So right now we have 12 mil left. It's 835. That's like the lowest crit damage roll. Obviously with the budget, we're going to have to stick with that. We'll go to 140. It's a 12%. $130? Yeah, I don't think they're going to go that low. I think this one might probably fit the best. That's an 849 right there. Probably can get an SOJ for 3 mil. It may not be a 630. But I think this right here. Yeah, I think that's right here. Alright, so we got 9 mil on our Witching Hour. So we have 3 mil left remaining, and that we have to get our SOJ with that. Sec here. 3 mil remaining. For SOJ, I'm more likely just going to search for a Locust Swarm. Obviously, the Bat reduction and the Bear reduction ones are going to be more desirable, but they're also going to be more expensive, so... Alright, let me just put my notepad up here. Like I said, we have 3 mil remaining. Let's take a look at SOJs. That's right. And I'll show you guys. I always keep entering, but in order to search for an SOJ, the way the armor search system is, there's no generated piece of armor that can roll, obviously, like resource like max mana, or generated rings, I should say, that can roll max mana. So what you have to do in order to search for SOJ is you have to select armor, all types, and you have to come down. And the first thing you want to put in is bonus versus elites. So we're just going to set it 30 first off. Then, for Witch Doctor options, you have Acid Cloud, Fire Bats, Locust Swarm, and Zombie Dog. So depending on what you're searching for, it may be easy, it may be not. There's plenty of skills that aren't here. For instance, Corpse Spiders isn't here. Zombie Charger Reduction isn't in this. Spirit Barrage isn't in this. So if you need one of those or are looking for one of those, you literally have to go through the entire list until you find what you're looking for. Now, what I also like to do is select max mana on this slot, because all the max mana SOJs are going to be for Witch Doctors. So I'll select max mana, and that's the best way to do it if you're searching for the ones you can't search for. But I do have Locust Swarm available here, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in there. And we're going to search and see what I have available. So it looks like a 530 Locust Swarm SOJ is 5 mil. So we're probably going to have to go down like 28. And that's going to put us probably in right in the range where we can afford it. And this one right here is probably going to be the one I select. It's a 528.9 for 2 mil, which leaves us with 1 mil left over. Which means we might actually be able to go with Ruby. Considering we didn't go with crit on the Pox, I might actually want to switch over to the Ruby. And that was about a million gold more, roughly. I did also leave a little buffer in between the Amethyst price and the Emerald price as well. About a 400k buffer there. Alright, so we got our Stone of Jordan. We got all our items in here. Let's go buy the gems. Like I said, we're going to go with the Flawless Star Ruby. We have an extra 1.4 mil, so we're going to go ahead and buy that. And actually, I didn't factor in the extra slot we have on the Pox. So actually, probably going to be going with Emerald. Actually, no, that's fine. 3.8 mil. It means there's a refund. Awesome. That's actually right around where the Emerald was. It was like 3.7, 3.8. So I'm going to have enough. I should have. Actually, let me just double check that. I just want to stay within the budget. No, never mind. It's 2.7. Alright, so if I go over by a million, it's no big deal. I'll probably catch hell for it, but whatever. I'm ready. Alright, so Star Topaz, we're going to go with 6. So about a mil a piece. And then an Amethyst. No, it looks like our gems are a little slow to be coming here, but usually it just takes a flick of a window. Let's pop in and out here. There it is. Alright, so we got everything we need here. It was 100 mil, I think 101 million. Some people won't care, some people will. Let's put it all in the stash here. We're going to go in game, we're going to equip it. I'm going to go over the stats, and then I'm going to go over my skill setup and kind of give you a breakdown there. And like I said, I do expect this to be painful, so bear with me. It's going to more or less just be, like I said, my ritual MP10 runs whenever I build a set. So ideally, just from what I'm seeing, this set's probably going to be best for MP like 4 to 6. You can obviously go higher depending if you have that skill cap already maxed out with this class. which is another important point to bring up, is that this class is very intense as far as time investment. You really have to practice class a lot, understand the ins and outs, where to be, when to be there, what skills to use, when to use them. So if you're new to the class, you really have to be willing to give it some time. We're going to go ahead and gem these items up here. We'll go ahead and equip them. This character is Paragon 26, so obviously I'm going to have about 75 extra intelligence roughly. Alright, looking here, just looking at EHP stats. Right now we're looking at about 50k life, so that's actually the minimum, close to the minimum life for MP8 by my gear check standards. 4k armor is actually over my recommended for MP10. My all-res is a little low. We're looking at about 600 for the lowest all-res, which is still pretty decent for this budget. Like I said, lower MPs, it'll be great for. You will struggle in higher MPs. Crit chance, you're looking at 32.5. We didn't have a crit chance on the Pox, but I think that intelligence boost there is going to make up for that in actual damage. 360 crit damage, running with the 1.08 attacks per second. Obviously, the lower attacks per second with this setup, I think the better off you're going to be as far as survivability goes. Let's take a look down here. We're rocking 4.4% lifesteal. We're only at the 12 move speed. Like I said, you guys, some guys just need it. I found out that it's not necessary whatsoever, and that more EHP is going to give you more overall survivability and better results. And a lot of my viewers will attest to that as well. So, and we're rocking 12 radius, so we're in that 12 to 14 radius area range, so we're good there. All right. Now for the skill setup, with the patch coming out 1.0.8, obviously Fire Bats is all the rage right now. A lot of people like the Cloud of Bats rune. I've built builds completely around it, just eliminating bears completely, which is cool. Really like the bats change because it gives a lot of people that haven't spent a lot of time with the class a more upfront, direct way of dealing with, certain mobs, killing things at a good rate instead of sitting there, with zombie bears being frustrated because they have trouble aiming them. They don't know, how to maximize them. And that's really where the skill cap comes in with this class. I think is zombie bears is really one of the things that kind of scares people away because of how wonky it feels, especially at lower attacks per second. But that's what I really like about bats. That change brought in a really more upfront way to deal with this class and to be effective with it. So that's excellent. Obviously, a lot of people are running the Cloud of Bats setup. It's pretty simple. You just get a bunch of monsters riled up. You just start channeling and you just annihilate them. I had a video out before the patch released showing this ability. But I've actually moved over to Plague Bats. And in my play, I'll show you how it operates, why I pick it, why I prefer it. What a lot of people don't understand, and it's really not explained too well in the tooltip, is that the difference between Plague Bats and Cloud of Bats, is that Cloud of Bats will do upfront damage. It will do an extreme amount of damage, obviously, and it will, with the channel time increase, it does increase in damage over time. So you will get more upfront damage, which is great for some affixes, for some mobs that are, just going to be on you constantly. They're not going to be moving a lot. That's a great application for that spell. It's really going to blow Plague Bats out of the water when it comes to that. But when you're talking about mobs and affixes that move around a lot, Nightmarish affix, knockback, vortex, things that are constantly canceling your channel, things that are causing you to move, like frozen, arcane, Plague Bats actually is going to outshine Cloud of Bats in those situations. And I think that those situations are more frequent than the situations where you run into where you can just sit there and channel bats for days. Plague Bats, however, applies a dot to the affected targets. So essentially what you're doing is you're channeling the spell, you're applying the dot, the stacks, to the monster. Let's say you get knocked back. Well, the way it deals damage is it deals a damage over time effect to the affected target. So if you get knocked back, if you get feared, if you get frozen, this damage is still going to be dealt to that monster during that period. The really important thing about that is that you're going to be getting lifesteal procs during that period. So if you get frozen, nightmared, knocked back. With Cloud of Bats, as soon as you're done channeling, you're going to no longer receiving any life back. So you're going to be in a dangerous situation most of the time, because the really important part about this setup is you need that sustain from your lifesteal. Whereas with Plague Bats, it's still going to be doing damage. So even if you're CC'd, if you're unable to control your character, you're still going to be getting healed during that duration. So that's where Plague Bats really outshines Cloud of Bats in my opinion, and that's why I've picked it up. I like using it in combination with Zombie Bears. My strategy, and I'll show it to you as I do the demo run here. I like to stack up Plague Bats on the targets for a few seconds, get that dot ticking, and then switch over to Zombie Bears. So you essentially, in that duration, it's about 4 seconds after you stop channeling that the damage will tick. In that 4-second duration, you're stacking the Plague Bats damage, and you're going to be getting Zombie Bear damage on top of that. So it's a really nice way to burst mobs down. Plus the utility that Plague Bats brings is just great in a lot of situations. Waller mobs, you can hit them through walls. You don't have to worry about juking with bears anymore. With Cloud of Bats, it's really difficult because the range is so limited. So Waller mobs, Treasure Goblins, I just had a video out, I think it was last week, 9-second Goblin kill. I actually had, or later in that week, I actually had a 4-second Goblin kill. I haven't posted the video yet because I wanted to just kind of give it a little time instead of just flooding my YouTube with Goblin kill videos. But it's great for that. Kiting mobs, like scavengers, the ghosts and like festering woods that keep flying around, it's great for those. So, and I'll do a sim run here and try to give you some examples and show you why I choose that. Excuse me. For the other skills, I am a big advocate of using Horrify Frightening Aspect. That EHP boost is really huge in a lot of situations, especially when you're dealing with giant groups of mobs, like a lot of Witch Doctors are playing now, the playstyle that you basically use your Locust Swarm Pestilence to get a big group together, and that EHP in those situations really will help you survive. The beast charges, the tree poison, it just goes the extra mile. It's also amazing for reflect damage. You don't have to really even bat an eye at reflect damage anymore. You just hit your Horrify and you go to town, and it makes it so much easier. Obviously, you can. This slot is open. You can also run like Mass Confusion, Big Bad Voodoo. It's really up to you what you're comfortable with, but I really like Horrify Frightening Aspect here. Obviously, Spirit Walk is a staple with the Honored Guest Rune for that mana regen for some of those longer elite fights. Usually, mana is not going to be an issue when you're killing trash, but once you run into some elite packs, it will start to become an issue. Soul Harvest with the Vengeful Spirit Rune. I'm a big advocate of this. I love that burst damage. There's no cast animation, so that's a big thing for me, especially using a really slow weapon. And also, the cast animations on Spirit Walk and Soul Harvest do not cancel your channel, so that's another thing to keep in mind. Obviously, Locust Swarm Pestilence, I've made it popular in the higher MP Witch Doctor builds. I've seen so many Witch Doctors nowadays, and they're all using this skill, and it is just amazing. Not for the damage, but for the lifesteal sustained on all affected mobs, and the ability to group up monsters in a really, really easy amount, really short amount of time. So, and then Zombie Bears, obviously the old legacy damage spell. I'm still addicted to it. I spend a lot of time with it, so I understand how to position, how to aim it, and how to maximize its efficiency. So I still like having it on my bar. And the passives, obviously Spirit Vessel, which I think actually trumps Blood Ritual. Obviously that Blood Ritual is going to give you more overall cast time sustain, but we're all going to get stuck in those situations, especially after the rubber band fix. I've run into so many rubber banding issues in Fields of Misery, where I get stuck in like poison pods, and I just keep rubber banding back, and I can't do anything about it, and I die. Well, Spirit Vessel is great for that. It can really improve your playstyle and the fun you can have with how reckless you can be. You don't really have to be as cautious. You can kind of just look and go, oh look, Spirit Vessel's up, or Spirit Vessel's not down. I can just run in and do whatever I want. And it's more fun that way. Obviously, Grave Injustice, a staple, along with Gruesome Feast. And I've said it before, and these passives are just game-breaking for this class. I really think that you need to be running both of them at all times with this setup, and I think a lot of people will agree. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to do some sim runs for you. I'll probably do like a Festering Woods. Festering Woods clear, and then we're going to go to Fields of Misery. Like I said, it's 100 and 100 million and some change budget. It may struggle at certain points, but you guys should get the point. And I like to torture myself, so just give me a sec here and we're going to start that run. Let's get some water. Let's go! Alright, now normally when I come here I'd like to obviously stack up in this zone. There's the Warrior's Rest, there's Crypt of the Ancients, plus there's usually like 2 to 3 elite packs out in this area. So it's a really good zone to do that. Now we'll stack up the bats on these targets. And we're going to switch to bears here. You notice I got knocked back and I was still being healed through that. Stack up the bats on the targets. And we'll stack the bats up again, just get a tick in, and then we're going to start bearing. You can see this pack is going down pretty easy. My DPS is only 107k sheet with SOJ. As you can see, the dot's ticking on that, and it will kill them off. So we got 1 stack, just 4 more to go. If I don't get 5 stacks in the Festering Woods, I'll go to Leoric's Manor and I'll get the stack from the courtyard. Usually there's 1 elite out there, sometimes 2 elites. There can also be 1 inside the actual manor itself, so it's also another area to go if you're struggling. I'm kind of struggling with trash, obviously, and I expected that. Pop Horrify, get that EHP, so when I run in there, I can take a little more hits, a few more hits. Do that, just stack it up with bats. I'm getting healed by all the dot damage that it's bringing to the table. So there's that rubber band I'm talking about. Perfect example of why I like Spirit Vessel. With the current setup, it's like you have no control over that whatsoever. The pain train. Yeah, we're running on empty here, but that's fine. It's also nice. Horrify's great for those tight spots like you saw there. I felt like I was getting crowded, so I just wanted to give myself a little breathing room. And I understand the hate train's going to be coming for this. Speaking of hate train, I got to give a shout out to Skywalker FX. Because he's been a big supporter of everything I've done for the Witch Doctor community, so everybody just give him a big round of applause next time you see him. Alright, so that wasn't that bad. Obviously shielding, Electrified, Nightmare, or not Nightmare, excuse me, Molten, Waller. But I still got the job done. Like I said, I like pain. I like the pen. Alright, so we got an archer pack over there. Alright, so we're going to come over here. We're going to stack up some plague bats on these guys. See that? It's really nice because you can stack it up, you know, and if you're with these arcane beams, you need to move. You want to go off, you know, get away from the battle, just to heal up a little. You know, you can walk away and that damage is still ticking away on those targets. It's really nice for the Act 1 keyword as well because he, you know, he has that knockback. He jails you. He runs around all the time. And a lot of the times, I won't even try to bear him. I'll just sit there and be like, you know what? Screw you. I'm just going to use Plague Bats. And it's really, really a lot quicker kill to do it that way than it is to chase him around and try to hit him with bears. So, alright, we got our first archer down here. Like I said, I will be giving this set away. It will be next Saturday at 4 p.m. Central. So, anybody that's interested in this set, as you can see, it is capable. It's a very good set. Not the best thing for MP10, obviously, but it's a little over 100 mil. So, people interested in that, just stop on over and be a part of that drawing. The only requirements is that you follow me on Twitch. That's it. You don't have to be a member. You don't have to do anything crazy like that. I don't usually do giveaways. This is actually my first set giveaway. It was suggested by some of my viewers that they had donated the money, and that's what they'd like me to do with it. So, hence the giveaway. It's really not my style other than that. The only other giveaways that I do are all in-house. They're never announced. So, it's whenever I fill up on legendaries, I'll basically select 3 people at random from chat, and they get to come duke it out in a buffet giveaway. Another thing that I do is I have a mystery item every buffet giveaway. So mystery items have been worth anywhere between 1 million to 10 million gold. So it's kind of a fun twist that I've put on it. A lot of people that have done it enjoy it. I enjoy doing them as well. It's a lot of fun just to see all that stuff in town and see people going ham for the legendaries. Alright, let's come to Crypt of the Ancients here. Probably going to have to go to Leoric's Manor for that 5th stack. I love pain! Alright, so we're going to just tag this stuff with Plague Bats for a few seconds. Reposition, you can see the damage that's being dealt. Even with my lower DPS, I'm still dealing about 400k a tick. So it's considerable. So you can reposition, you're still doing damage. You know, if you're running Cloud of Bats, all that AoE stuff over there, you'd have to constantly be repositioning, and you'd be losing a lot of uptime on the damage. And Plague Bats just allows you to essentially make up for that. It's really about uptime versus reposition time. I mean, this is a pretty annoying pack, not even gonna lie. Let's get the Plague Bats stacked up. So you're doing about 500k a tick. Stack the bears up on that. Maximize that damage within that interval. Sit here and get some bats stacked up again. And this is the build I actually was experimenting with before the patch released, a few days before. I kind of want to keep it on the down low because I think it's a very, very good setup, utility-wise and damage-wise. Alright, so we got through that. Like I said, a little drawn out, but still not the worst. That was pretty difficult to fix. Yeah, one of my viewers also mentioned, if you're playing with that Barbarian who's running the Echoing Fury, you're playing with that Monk who's running the Echoing Fury, Plague Bats will be a godsend because you can tag them with it, and then when those mobs go running, they're still going to be taking the damage. So don't factor that out in group play as well. Definitely another benefit. You don't have to curse at the Echoing Fury Barbs anymore for knocking them out of your Cloud of Bats. Alright, let's go to Leoric's Manor. And we're gonna get our 5th stack here. And then we're gonna hit up the Fields of Misery. I'll probably just do a full fields clear, not gonna worry about any sub-dungeons. A lot of people will probably see Decaying Crypts or something like, oh my god, you have to do that. Alright, so we got our pack here. Let's just get a few stacks of bats working. Switch over to burst mode. Get the bats ticking here. Switch over to burst mode. Got that rubber band rocking there. Alright, so that actually wasn't really that bad. The minions went down in a decent amount of time. We're going to get the Plague Bats stacked. He's standing the Plague, so that's not an issue, but so just get the burst damage rocking up on him here. Get some more bats stacking on him. Get those dots ticking. Shoot the bears, stack that damage up. Still pretty good kill time for the gear I have. There's just a ton of plagued everywhere. Plague bats in plague. See, I run through the plague. Plague bats was healing me. Oh man, I can't wait for Skywalker to get a hold of this. He's gonna have a field day with me, guys. And like I said, this is just me doing my... I have to do this no matter what set I build. Any viewer set that I've ever built, I always do this. Alright, let's go to fields. Ha, pro dodge. Alright, so the Fields of Misery. Now when I go to Fields of Misery, I like actually going to the Cemetery, the Forsaken Waypoint, and taking the bridge up. That way I get a consistent layout of the level every time. If you take the waypoint directly there, it can be in certain areas and it'll change your position. It can change your efficiency of the route. So I really just like coming up from this area. Alright, so we got the signature group pulls. This isn't anything difficult. We have good enough EHP for this. It's one of my favorite zones right now. The mobs move so fast. Like I like not Weeping Hollow. I like Festering Woods. No, actually Weeping Hollow's right. I'm derp saucing. But I like Weeping Hollow. But the mobs move so slow that it can be unbearable at times. I still do it unzombie bearable even, but I still do it in my normal runs just for the density, just to mix it up. If I just did field runs all day, I'd probably get pretty monotonous, almost as monotonous as the keep 2 runs we're doing. So I dropped the Spirit Vessel passive, got charged there. I really should be more liberal with the frightening aspect. I guess I'm just used to playing on my more geared Witch Doctor. Oh well. I'm bad, I'll just uninstall the game. Skywalker was right, you guys. I'm just bad. Some of these bigger mobs, I like to stack plague bats up. Like pods, the beast if I can. Usually it's when they're solo, where there's not a lot of mobs around them. Let's pop the Horrify, get some armor up here. Puts our armor to like 8200, I believe. Yeah, 8226. More EHP than your body has room for. Alright, so we'll continue up. Like I said, I'll finish clearing fields, and then that'll conclude the video. I hope you guys enjoy this. Hopefully it'll give you some ideas on what to look for when you're purchasing items. It should really help you out a ton. If you have any questions, you can always come visit my stream. I've been streaming every single day since I've started. It's getting to be close to 2 months that I've played Diablo every day for at least 3 to 5 hours a day. So come check it out. Any questions at all are welcome. If you'd like gear checks, anything like that on the Witch Doctor, I'd be more than happy to help you with that as well. But hopefully this video should give you a really good breakdown of my approach and why I choose certain skills and gear that I do. So looks like we got an IK belt. And a Doomhammer, ho! For those of you that don't know me, I'm King Doomhammer. I basically popularized the Doomhammer. If you ever see Doomhammers being sold on Indeed or witch doctors looking for them, I'm the one that started it all, essentially. Tempest Rush monks did like Doomhammers, obviously, but as far as witch doctors, nobody really ever thought that that weapon would be a good choice, but I have proven people wrong with that. And I've started the wave of the Doomhammer. Alright, let's come up here and do this event. Let's kill a bunch of plague carriers because I can. I'll do what I want. I just tag up plague bats on that. See, it's ticking for about 300k. And then you throw the bears in there. Get that double damage for that duration. Dat rubber band. Must crush. Pretty soon I'll do so many set builds that this guy's going to be Paragon 100 from all these sims. Then I'll have to make another Witch Doctor. See there, I was channeling bats and then I just casted Soul Harvest. Didn't interrupt my channel at all. Got that nice AoE damage around me. And it really couples well with Grave Injustice. Obviously, fighting big groups. It's going to give you that extra punch which can let you kill a few extra mobs in that time. And it'll bring your cooldowns down even further. Just going to stack up. He's taking about 400k there a tick. The other thing is, a lot of people think that plague bats cannot crit. That's actually incorrect. The way the damage is calculated, there's multiple instances of damage per tick. And if they were to actually display all of the numbers that were being calculated out, it actually would be like a solid wall of numbers. So what they did is they actually consolidated it into one big white number, and that includes crit damage and normal damage. So if you ever see my numbers ticking and they kind of like go up from another like tier, like if they're at like 400k and then it'll go up to 800k and then it'll come back down, like that's more than likely a few crits that occurred in that instance. So looks like we got Spirit Stoned, you guys. No, not the Spirit Stone. Alright, we're about a little less than halfway through fields here. Oh, we got the Key Warden. Everybody loves this Key Warden. By everybody, I mean nobody. We do have a Elite Pack here as well. What I'm going to try and do is get some bats tagging and just like keep moving a little. Just keep that life coming in and give myself that mobility to dodge certain things. We're going to tag up the Key Warden here. Obviously, we're dealing with a Nightmarish Frozen mob. Nightmarish Fast Frozen. Pop that Horrify and get that EHP boost. Dat knockback. Alright, so we're going to tag up these bats. Another thing I like to do, depending on the affixes, is when I start channeling, I like to pop my Spirit Walk to get that that uninterrupted channel for a good amount of time. Jailer. Bastard. So I can get those stacks up without having to worry too much about being interrupted, depending on the mobs. It's really good for this situation, obviously, because it's a Nightmarish Frozen. I did get Beast Charge, so I still think I've performed very well for this particular pack, considering it's a Key Warden and an Elite Pack. Alright, we're just going to run up the other side here, and we'll meet back up where we were. I love pain. Alright, so we'll just crawl up the other edge. Let's see if we can get a really big pile together here. Normally I go in the scavenger's den, not for the video. It's already going to be quite long, so I'd rather keep it at a minimum. It's probably going to be about a 3-part on YouTube. Alright, we're looking at... Alright, it's a purple. I'm going to pop the Horrify for the HP. See, I just took a beast charge. I didn't die. Thank Horrify for that one. Here's where the rubber banding really becomes a problem. I got that Horrify off. Gave me that breathing room. Gave me that EHP to survive. So really consider it. I think it's a very, very valuable spell. Alright, so we got all that cleared out. Passive didn't go down, which is good. Decaying Crypts also spawned. Dem spawns. Let's just bring it up here. Big groups over here by Decaying Crypts. It really wants me to go in there. Like, I kind of want to go in there, but I don't. Like, single target as well. You look here, Plague Bats is really nice for single target. So you just mowing through them. Get that damage combo working. Ooh, an Enlightened Shrine. I'm gonna ding here in a second too. I dedicate this level to Skywalker FX. He's such a great guy. Alright, let's get some big groups working. Pop Horrify here, give me some EHP. In case I get stuck. There's quite a few beasts in this particular group, so the random charge would not be out of the question. Oh my god! My computer's exploding! I just don't wanna get rubber banded into that tree poison. Yeah, just to recap, 100 mil build, putting some change. Skill cap OP. Let's just bake those guys. It's great for these guys. They just run around, flail around like idiots. The chaos! Alright, coming back around here, we're going to be hitting that Key Warden and that Elite here in a little bit. Looks like we're rocking some Waller Reflect Chargers. Don't want to die here. Get some bats ticking on them. Thank you, Horrify, for helping me survive that charge. It's great against the Reflect, like I was saying. Seeing Plague Bats really lets you maneuver around and still keep some effective damage on that target as well. Charge, just keep moving here. Let's channel the bats up. Get some nice stacks sticking on these guys. Passive went down again. Oh well, Desecrator, Waller, GTFO. Alright, well we got the pack. Most people, like most classes, this budget, not even a chance. Alright, we'll just finish it up. Ooh, we have a treasure goblin here, so maybe I can show you what I was talking about. Let me up here. I'm gonna try and get some stacks. No, I'm gonna die actually. I want to try and get some stacks, and I'm gonna try and kill that guy and see how fast we can do it. One sec here. Alright, let's take the waypoint up. We'll take the waypoint over there. We're going to do a goblin kill here. Hopefully I can get it. The damage is kind of low, but I'm rocking an SOJ, so... And I know I've died a few times. Like I said, I'm ready for the hate trains to come rolling in. But I know most people that watch this video, wow, just like on a dying spree right now. Most people that watch this video will really appreciate what I've showed them, and like I said, this build should be easily something you can use in MP like 4 to 6, probably even like top it out at MP 8 if you played the class quite a bit. So. Alright, but I do want to get that treasure goblin. I want to see how effectively I can, efficiently I can kill it. Stack up some plague bats on this stuff for the assist. Alright, we'll stack up bats on him. As you can see, the damage will tick as he's running. I'm just going to keep following him around and doing the same thing. As you can see, he's already at less than half life. With my whole whopping 107 base DPS. We got him. So yeah, that's another reason I absolutely love plague bats. No, the hate trains are filling. Alright, well I got the goblin, I don't care. 107k DPS, sheet DPS on MP10, I got a treasure goblin. Some people will appreciate that at least. Alright, we're gonna get that key warden. We're gonna get that bastard. Now when I'm chasing a goblin around or getting feared frozen, jailed knockback. Get over here. I'm gonna pop Sturlock and channel this a little more here. Alright, we're gonna end it out on him. We're gonna end it out on him. Oh, that charge. Ah, I hate you. Alright, get over here. Alright, he's going down. 30 gajillion deaths later. Just so you know, I will be uninstalling this game after this run. But no, 100 mil budget and some change. And now I'll kill this beast, grab my key here, and grab some of these items. I'll go back to town. That'll be the end of the video. I really appreciate you guys for watching it. To all my viewers, thanks for the suggestion. I'm really happy to oblige and help you guys out. If you haven't already... Ooh, there's this lead up here still. Never mind. If you haven't already, obviously check out my Twitch, PTB Rules on Twitch. Most people know it. If not, I will have that listed in the comment section below. If you have any comments or feedback on this, please feel free. Also, feel free to troll me. I'm totally open to that. We have a little competition on my stream to see who can troll more anyway, so... It looks like we're going to end it out with the Doomhammer Ho! Alright, let's go back to town. And like I said, I will be giving this set away next Saturday at 4 p.m. Central Time. So if you're interested in that, just come check it out. You do have to be a follower of my stream to be eligible. But I'll select the winner at 4 p.m. Central. And really appreciate you guys watching the video. And like I said, any feedback, feel free to leave it. Negative, positive, I'm up for it all. So you guys have a great day.